Let's welcome our final celebrity storyteller. Put your hands together for the talented John Goode, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for John.
All right. How y'all doing? Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Fantastic, man. Give it up for Shannon and Chris. This amazing night. Amazing night of storytelling, man. Fantastic. So, spoiler alert, art wins in the end. So, for many, many moons, I used to work as a day job, a 9 to 5. I used to work as an accountant. And at night, I used to go to these little clubs, little grottos, and I would perform spoken word poetry, poetry slams and open mics. And I would go to work the next day and I'd sit in my cube and I'd write poems for like 8 hours. And they'd say, how are the books? And I'm like, the books are not so good, but the poems are amazing. You should hear them. They're kind of painful. The people I did poetry with, they had no idea I was an accountant by day. And conversely, the people I worked with had no idea I was doing anything creative at night. Especially not my boss at the time, Keisha from New York. Or she wanted to be called Keish from Brooklyn. And I never called her that. Every so often, I enjoy a nice spinach quiche, and I never wanted the two to be confused nor conflicted. Keisha was the kind of person that always had to be right. Like one day, she came into the office, and she said, you know, these dances, these new dances that the kids do, these dances, they totally behoove me. And I said, behoove? Maybe you mean befuddle? Maybe you mean bemuse? But you did not mean behoove. And she was like, no, behoove. You know, what am I going to tell you? We started there on the same day. We were in the same new hire orientation, but she would tell anyone who would listen, including me, that she had worked there longer than I had. She's the kind of person that would look up at you and explain to you that she's taller than you are. She was hard to work with, she was hard to work for, and she was famous for meetings that could have been emails. So in the summer of 2006, I was going to get a much needed break from Keisha in accounting. I was headed to Austin, Texas to take part in the National Poetry Slam. This is where poets from all over the world descend on the city for 1 week, and they battle it out, man. It's a battle of nerds with words, and I was there to be crowned king. So after about half the week of competing, they named the top 10 poets. I was named as one of the top 10 poets in the nation. And then the top 10 poets got to see who would be number 1. It was Poetic Thunderdome. And there were some amazing poets there. There was this very, very kind gentleman named Travis from Texas. There was a not so kind gentleman named Alvin from Nevada. And then there was the reigning champ, the person who had won it all the year before, Anis Maggiani from Portland, Oregon. So we all took the stage, and when the dust cleared, it was just me and Anis. So Anis went on the stage, he did his poem. They threw up the scores. He got a 29.5 out of 30. That's what I said. So in order to win, I needed a 29.6. So I went on the stage, I did my poem, the crowd went crazy. Judges threw up their scores, they gave me a 29.8. Then I went crazy because I won. But then the judges said, not so fast. They said, you went over on time. Comes with a half a point penalty. And I'll be back with 29.3.
Ooh.
I'd lost. There used to be this show that came on Saturday mornings called The Wide World of Sports. When it started, they'd be like, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. I felt both of those emotions right there in that one moment. But I was so happy to have been there because for 1 week, I got to be Superman. But now it was time to take off the cape, and put the glasses back on, and head to work. So the next Monday, I'm in the building, I get into the elevator. As the elevator door is closing, a hand juts in like a horror movie. The door opens, it's Keisha. And she gets on the elevator, she starts telling me about all the things that need to be done. No one's done any of my work in the week that I've been gone. And I'm feeling some kind of way, I'm still on the elevator. I haven't gotten a cup of coffee. I have not hidden out in the bathroom for an hour as is my ritual. So I get off the elevator, I go to my desk and I just start working. And that's when it happens. I get a Microsoft Office meeting request. Microsoft Office meeting requests, they come with a ding, like your order is ready at the deli, but this was no Reuben, this was Keish. Microsoft Office meeting request comes with 2 options, accept or deny. I hit deny. Faster than a speeding bullet, Keisha was at my desk. She said, did you deny? my meeting request. And what I wanted to say was, I've never known Microsoft Office to lie to anyone. What I said was, yeah, no, I didn't. There's no need to do it. I know what needs to be done. I'm already doing it. We don't have to meet. She said, you have to accept my meeting request. I said, I have to? She said, you have to. I said, okay. So she sent me another one. I hit deny. Passed in a locomotive. Keisha was at my desk. And before she could say anything, I said, Keisha, if you say one word to me, I want to quit this job. And she said, one word like what? I said, that's all it takes. So I typed up my resignation letter. I checked my bank account balance. I sent in my resignation letter. I grabbed my phone and I was driving home. I got to work at 8. I was driving home by 10. Now, in the movies, this is where the protagonist throws his fist up like it's the last scene of The Breakfast Club. And they playing Don't You Forget About Me. But in real life, you're driving home like, what have I done? I always wanted to quit my job and be an artist. And to my credit, I nailed that first half. I quit that job so good. Oh, I quit it so good. But I had no idea how to do the second half. And now I was feeling some fear, some real trepidation, because I knew in a week's time, there was a strong chance I'd be back in that building trying to get my job back. And as I'm having that thought, my phone rings, I look down, it's a Texas area code. I pick it up, and it's Travis. It's one of the people I competed against in Austin. He said, hey man, I love what you did in Austin. I said, thank you, Travis. He says, in addition to being a poet, I'm also a booking agent. I said, good for you, Travis. He said, look, man, I got like $30,000, $40,000 worth of college gigs. I would love to throw your way. I know you probably can't do it, because when we're in Texas, I know you said you had a 9 to 5, but I just felt like I had to call and offer it to you. And I said, magically, Travis, my schedule has opened up. And that is how I quit my job, became a full-time artist, and that moment has led me all the way to this moment. And life has been up, up, and away. Thank y'all so much for listening.
John Goode, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness.